And we are live. Greetings, everyone. Have Reality Speaks here with your boy Yacarius, also known as Kamal. We also have Brother Salam, known as Ken, and Brother Minister Courtney for the debut of the Evolving Man. You guys want to say hello, greetings, peace, or something? Salam. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can.
All right. So, in any event, real quick, the Evolving Man kind of spawned from the idea of Sparkle with the Sister Cipher. I saw it getting traction. I saw the need. I saw the women coming together and becoming friends and bonding and having a safe space to with someone that they were comfortable with to share some stuff, on their level, wherever they want to go, however personal they
Yeah.
want to get or however general. So and now men, it's our turn. We need to get together and have a safe and trusted space where we can come and deal with some of the issues that we're facing, some of the barriers, and just life in general. Just to have someone to speak to and talk to.
You got a honey in a blue pill.
Um, that's what the evolving man is going to be about prayerfully. I know it's difficult for us to let go of our ego and let go of the pride.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was hard for me to even admit that I needed help or that I even had an issue. So here we are, trying to get some men to step up, to admit and to themselves, and to be just bold enough to have some open discussions with other men. We're not here to judge. We're here to meet people where they are. We're here to pull people up if we can.
Yeah.
So, whatever, man, whatever it takes for us to help one another, to collaborate, and to gather our resources wherever they may be, and see if how we can just help one another grow and help anyone else grow that's willing to. And it begins with just coming together, I believe. So,
Yeah. Teaching men how to think differently.
go ahead now. Yeah. So we had on the Sister Cipher show, they called it mind shifting. That's what we came up with. Me and Sparkle learned that there's this new term called mind shifting. And it was fairly new to me. I never heard of it. It was just probably a new term wrapped up in a
Yeah.
different form. But, mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and some other terms we can use. But just basically taking account of and paying attention to what's entering the mind. There's a mental health, and it just doesn't mean a person has an issue with their mind. It also means like physical health. We want to eat
Yeah.
right, we want to have checkups, that type of thing. And the mental part of it is oftentimes neglected. We look at therapy as a bad thing. We look at having someone to talk to as something negative and as being less than a man. And so therefore we don't get the benefits of it, because we see it as being less than a man and it's going to do something to our brand. That's the new word. It was
Uh-huh.
before as the way people were seeing us, one person, but now everybody is branding themselves. What do you think, beloved Courtney? Did you want to jump in? I don't.
You know, in the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, however you may call his name, I greet everyone here in the greeting words of peace. We say, peace be unto you, assalamu alaikum. And just to say this, and before we went live, Brother Kamal, Brother Salam, we were speaking about the time that we're living in right now. That the Most High God, in which has been a mystery to many of us, is starting to pour out his spirit to start the conversation and to start the healing of his people. You know, I was so encouraged because at the CLC, the KLL Kroom Center, just to see a family. This is a first to have a family rent the place just to bring family out to talk to each other about responsibility and producing love within the family. And when I asked the person that actually contacted us, you know, who came up with this idea? And I said, because it seems like the eclipse is real. And she said, absolutely, the eclipse is real. And I'm the one that called on family to start getting it together. So with that said, you know, we as a people understood that we have been damaged and we are damaging people around us. And the time has come now, whereas the current, at least in my estimation, the current is changing. That if you do desire to do better and be better, there's going to be individuals like yourself, Kamal, facilitating the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not going to be any judgment. It's going to be simply that we can do better, and we do have a responsibility to ourselves, our community, and our children. So I just leave it with that, brother, as we move on with the conversation. I'm encouraged as I struggle, you know, and many others are in the struggle themselves.
Yeah. And I'm of the same spirit. Really, I just have one question. Do we give up? I mean, we see the condition of us, but the question is simple. Do we give up or have we given up? You know, have some of us given up? I guess there's a few questions in there.
You know, and I gotta kind of not try to talk all the time, brother Salam. So you gotta jump in on me, bro. But literally, you know, having a conversation with a brother who, you know, spent a lot of time in prison and doesn't quite understand fully the toll that incarceration has on your life force. Some would say, Patrick Johnson would say, worse than death, you know, a person dying, because now all of your life has been taken away from you and controlled by someone else. That's worse than the oppression is worse than slaughter, meaning to oppress and to hold someone down and to keep their life force from having its creativity is the worst thing you can do for a human being. Death is sweeter than that. So a lot of us don't understand, and I'm looking at two brothers that live to tell. But this brother, not understanding the toll that prison took on him, was not making excuses, but was saying how difficult it is to reach the young people, almost in a give-up spirit. But while we were talking, a young lady who had gone through similar, she stepped right up into the conversation and came with nothing but spirit, bro. And she's like, I ain't letting nothing hold me back, and I'm not going to allow my children to go through the same thing that I've gone through. Matter of fact, I'm not holding on to the past any longer. I'm moving into the future. And matter of fact, I am the advocate of my children. And you know what? I am a goddess. And there's nothing that I'm like, I need to know what your name is, sister. So she literally came into the conversation and then gave the brother so much love by, brother, you don't remember my name? You know what I mean? That made him feel like a god and a king. Like, yo, that weakness ain't gonna be tolerated no more. It's time for us to recognize our position and to start to take our position. And when the black man sees the black woman standing up, taking back her responsibility at a certain point, just what I heard you in your trailer, Brother Kamal, talking about how in many cases, not just that we haven't taken on our role and our responsibility as fathers, but recognizing too that there's been a lot of work to destroy the black man. Bruh, You know, you ain't just come on this planet, brother, without, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we carrying 6 sectillion tons, man, followed by 21 ciphers. This world is totally against your ride.
Mm.
And when you understand why and what's in you, then we start to, drop our fears and start to get busy as a group of brothers like you're doing right now, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did you want to chime in? Salam, just jump in when you want
Yeah,
to.
because you made the statement saying, "Do we give up?"
Mm.
And all I could think about is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he said, it's like, if he gave up, where would the people be? Just basically, just think about it. If he gave up, and think about all the prophets before him, may Allah be pleased with them all. If they gave up, where would we truly be? Right now, we many of us are at loss. And those of us who have figured it out and started following the Siratal Mustaqim, for those of us who have figured that out, I personally know that I haven't been diligently as I should be as far as in reaching the people. I know I haven't. And that bothers me because I know that I've been lacking in that aspect because I have a story to tell and a story to show because I lived it. Not just lived it in the streets, I lived it behind that wall. And that's where I started really, truly getting into who I am, my purpose, the blessings that was bestowed upon me. And I had to ask myself, which of my blessings am I going to bestow? Am I going to follow my blessings that's been bestowed upon me, or I'm going to let them go? And that's what a lot of us do. We're doing now. We're not fulfilling the blessing that we were given. I was given a blessing. I know I was.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know I was. If you can't nobody else say, I was given a blessing. It was
You're definitely looking good. You're looking good for the amount of time. So you're looking beautiful. But this thing, there's a lot of perspectives, and I would like to share this one because I had to realize for myself, despite the opposition and the judgment that I may have been getting upon my return to society, that I survived it, right? No matter what, right, wrong, and indifferent, I survived something that is unmanageable for a lot of people. Like they can't even imagine doing 25 years. They can imagine doing 20 years, but we survived it. Now, whether people think we deserve to survive is a different story, but we survived it. And why is that important? It's important because it shows our strength, right? Yeah. And it shows that Allah Ta'ala had a plan as well for us. But let me just say that there's a lot of survivors out here that have not been to prison. They survived a lifestyle that would probably kill most, right? That would have taken most life. But they're survivors of a lifestyle, of a nurturing, of an environment, whatever we want to say. We can even go back to say the Willie Lynch syndrome, what I'm saying, his teachings and this, the way he separated. At some point, we want to dig through that. We want to present that so people understand that it's not about racism or going back to slavery, but understand the psychology of how separate we were intentionally made to be. Not to like each other because of skin color, age, weight, height, anything they could find that will make us feel different from one another, they use as a weapon to divide us and happen. And then when they couldn't divide the family, they forcibly separated us, right? Yeah. Separated them. So they made sure we was divided in a lot of ways. It's just, I just want to focus on the psychology of that down the road. But that plays an important part as well. And we're still surviving. So, and I really heard this, that we're becoming extinct. Not numbers, but a lot of shells of a man is walking around here. Incoherent mentally, or just in a matrix of drugs. That's all they see. That's it. I see a guy, all they do is go back and forth to Risking Boulevard and back. They'll get enough money and then go back and get high. They'll get enough to beg for some money, go back to get high. This is a zone. And this is day after day after day. This same energy could be used for, let me go find a job. Let me clean myself up. But maybe they don't know how to do that. Maybe they don't have the strength. Maybe we can develop a platform to start, guiding people because, and I actually told one individual, I said, listen, when you're ready, I can help you stop. And, just holler at me, but I know you got to be ready. So I'm not going to chase you. You have to be ready. That's the bottom line. But we're surviving that. And I want other people to understand that they're survivors of themselves. And if you have strength to survive that, then you can do anything you want to do. I guess that's the short version of what I'm trying to say. And I'll pass it with that.
Brother Kamal, my thing is, do you have something to live for? Do you have something to get up in the morning for?
Mm-hmm.
And like
Right.
to your point, man, it ain't just those that have gone into prison, but y'all have had an increased burden, right? Ain't no question, but what y'all had to go through, it's only, and I hear it from both of y'all, it's only Allah that can bring you out with your right mind. And willing to feel a certain way, Brother Salam, about I have a greater duty. You know what I mean? So there ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. And to your point, trying to survive out here in a world that is against your rise, there's no question, man. It is a burden on us. But if we can attach ourselves to something in which our nature dictates, Brother Salam, we not made to just work for somebody else, bro. You know what I mean? We're made to rule. Now, if we work where we rule at, you know what I mean? That's different than, going into work where you got to bow your head down. You don't know if you got a job. You got to go beg somebody for something. And when it all comes down to it, what are you really doing for yourself and your people? You're just contributing to somebody else's bottom line. Yep. I mean, we're not made for that. And when Islam, and I'm not talking about, the religion, because it's understood in Islam that the prophet didn't come to bow down to the world. He came to what? To bring a new world in. Now we understand that the prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, he said that in the end days, the Messiah is going to come. So the Messiah ain't coming to fit in, Brother Kamal. The Messiah is coming to bring in a whole new world. And I'm not talking about after we die. We're talking about a system of justice and equality that we don't see in this world. Unfortunately, Brother Kamal, the founding fathers, as I will say, they had a good document in the Constitution, but they didn't have the heart to give freedom, justice, and equality to all of the citizens. So now we've gone through some suffering, bro. When we've been at the bottom of this thing, are we willing, in our humility, brother Salam, and I, bro, that's a beautiful name. Your name is one of the names of the hereafter, brother. Yes. So it's no coincidence that you're on the line, bro. Mm-hmm. But do we have the heart and the mind to give freedom, justice, and equality to the entire human family? I believe that we are peculiarly qualified, that we won't be the racists that those were before, the bigots, or those who try to keep it only for ourselves, but be willing to share it and to give to the entire family, human family. So that's my piece, Brother Kamal, that we have a mission on our shoulders as black men. In the world that we live in, they know that we have greater is he that's in you. They know that that's what we have in us from what we suffer. That we want to bring in a new world, not the world that has despised and rejected us. Did I say too much, bro?
No, actually it's good. It's I don't know, I think it takes different people with different energy to reach different people, right? So if you have an audience, some people is going to accept the disciplined tone that you use. Some people may not, right? Some people looking for a softer tone. Some people looking for more, and we want to offer all of those perspectives. plant all those different seeds so we can reach every person with whatever's relative to them, right? That's the
Absolutely.
idea, because I don't think we're going to reach everybody with one energy, because people are looking for different things. But at the end of the day, we're hoping that everybody's looking to change and to do better, and that they're not comfortable, that they're not resting comfortably at night. No, because I know that I'm not in my grandchildren's life like I want to, and I'm not comfortable with it. But I know I need money. They're in another city. This is, it's not just money, but that's part of it. It's a big part. The travel is a lot involved. So I have to start doing better financially so I can be in their life. That's really the most important thing for me. I feel as though I kind of live my life, to the point as far as just having fun. And, I matured out of all of those fantasies that I used to have as a young man. And now what I want to do is not take what I have with me. I want to leave it, especially for my grandchildren. I would love for them to be able to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, go online, whatever, and say, oh, this is what my grandfather was talking about, right? I won't be so much of a mystery, and it won't be just a one-sided view. It won't just be what they're reading about me. They'll listen to me talk, and they'll prayerfully see the change in me themselves. So that's just one of my visions for why I do this. In addition to, I feel like I don't have no choice. I feel like I'm driven by something higher than me. That's all I have, So anyway, one of the people that I invited just got back to me late. And let me see if I can get him to come on. Y'all know Larry. I didn't send him a link. Wow. Let me send him a link real quick. Just give me a moment, guys. Somebody could chime in if you don't mind. I'll just see if we can get him on. I like Larry. Let's see if I can get him real quick.
But you said something about the change, and a lot of people don't even know how to exercise their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they know how to work the biceps, triceps, calves, and all that. They know how to work the body.
Right.
But when it comes to the mindset, a lot of people don't know how to exercise their mind. So where do you begin? See, I have an idea. I have my own, but it's just a question. Where would you begin to start showing people how to exercise the mind, to start so they can start thinking differently? One of the things I used to do is called "What Would You Do?" Give them scenarios to make them think. I said, I don't want no answer, because there's no right or wrong answer to this. But the answer is this here. This is what the whole thing was, to make you think. Because a lot of us are more reactionary followers instead of actually thinking something out and doing it. We got to learn how to think. A lot of us don't know how to think.
And what I've just learned recently is that, when we speak about the oneness of Allah, there's a lot of examples of oneness, and even the eclipse to me was one of those signs that Allah showed us about the oneness, right? These two great lights coming together for those moments with no problems, right? Two great lights with no problems. That shows some oneness right there. There's a lot of ways to look at that. But there's a oneness there should be a oneness, in just my opinion, based on what I understand, between the physical, mental, and spiritual, right? And recently, I'm realizing I've been lacking spiritually, right? I'm missing out a whole third of my life, or what's supposed to be my makeup as a human being is missing.
Yeah.
And it's affecting me growing mentally, because it's like a car. If the muffler ain't working, it's going to affect the engine. You don't know how, right? And so they all interrelate with each other. It's like an ecosystem. And when one is out of sync, then you could only go so far physically. You could be cock diesel in the gym, hard body, but if your spirit is not right, your mind is not right, you're just a big body with nothing going on inside of substance, possibly, if you're not, or you could be very frustrated and aggravated, despite the way. That's why you're going to work out, because you don't know no other way to deal with that mental frustration, or how to get the spirit right. So but how do you get your mind right? I don't know. People do various things. Some people read, some people say meditate. I went to the steam room today. I felt so good. It was quiet in there. I did some stretching on the bar. That felt good, with some jazz in my ear. I like listening to jazz. It relaxes me. Listen to the Quran definitely relaxes. But what I'm finding now, I have to get away from secular music. All right. It is not mentally healthy. I'm starting to see it more and more. So if we want to develop better mental health, we have to get away from this rap music and these negative lyrics, because they plant seeds in our mind. We don't feel it. We don't know it. Next thing you know, we singing a song. Next thing you know, we acting off the song. We acting just like them. And the subconscious, we don't even realize it. But I'm telling you, these lyrics is terrible. And our children are listening to them. We have to monitor their intake. We have to and the biggest thing is we have to monitor them on social media. When you hear people saying it, it's real, man. It's real. It's real. Trust me, they're not going on social media just looking for the stuff they're going to hear from their parents. They ain't looking for goody two-shoes stuff. They're looking for stuff that they can hide from their parents and they can get into, and they can, feed the flesh, right? That's what they're looking for on social media. They ain't looking for that intelligent stuff. I'm not going to say that's true for everybody, but we have to definitely monitor what the children watch.
Brother, I think about, me and my brother were just talking, and since we speaking on, the Quran, the first revelation to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, first revelation, it's not the first surah, the second one is the 96th, called the Qlat, right? El Alaq. And it said, read in the name of your Lord. Basically, who taught man by the pen what man knew not. So to brother Salam's, build, my mother used to say, and I didn't even know what the word meant. As a young child, she would say, you have to think critically. You have to think critically. So what the brother is saying is that, a lot of us don't know how to think. Think what? Critically. So I didn't even know what the word meant, but it made me want to search it out, meaning that you have to think with logic, not with emotions. You have to think above your emotions and think really what's going on. So as I grew, there's a lesson, Brother Kamal. Why does the devil keep us illiterate? Right? So what's the answer? So that he can it just escaped me real quick, but so that he can use it as a tool and also a slave. He keeps us blind to ourselves so that he can what? Master us. So the understanding of our illiteracy, Brother Salam, or us not knowing how to think, I just got a memo telling me, why does the devil keep us illiterate? So that he can use us as a tool and also a slave. He keeps us blind to ourselves so that he can master us. So right there, it's understood that there is a people that are mastering our lack of being able to think critically. And they have used us as tools and slaves for their world, not for the world that we want to produce and see for our benefit. So yes, reading, but reading the right stuff. As you said, Brother Kamal, they're pushing a lot of stuff on us right now, social media and music, but even further, what we eat physically, what we eat mentally, and what we eat spiritually. You are what you eat. So I found out, and maybe the both of y'all would bear me witness, this is always one of the best times of being in the prison system is during the month of Ramadan.
And the brother that I just seen, he was talking about, brother, man, when you was on, we had the best Ramadans ever. Because I had another. It wasn't all about eating for me, because I knew that these brothers that were coming into the faith, it wasn't Brother Courtney that was calling them in. In some cases, it wasn't necessarily the teaching. It was the other brothers whom was inviting them to fast. And some of those brothers, this is the first time they've ever gone without a meal in their life, man. And the brothers would say to me, brother, man, I was all about doing this fast, man, but that night, brother, when I ain't eat, that day when I ain't eat, something else started talking to me. So we didn't know that there's two selves. There's the lower self and the higher self. We've only known the lower self of ourselves. So we didn't know that someone was manipulating our every move. Our thinking was being manipulated. Our anger, our emotions, all of that was being manipulated until we fasted. And then when we said we was going to not eat, something in us said, oh, yes, you're going to eat. And then we became acquainted with another self. Now, this brother noticed in the prison system, and y'all will bear witness. He said, brother, I started notice eating that prison diet, that I started to become more emotional. I said, yeah, man, we was fighting. That's part of the reason why they got rid of me. We was trying to get rid of the SOY, S-O-Y, in the pills, because it has an estrogen. He said, literally, I'm watching something on TV, and I start crying. I start becoming emotional. He said, stop eating that food. So the food, Brother Kamal, the food is feminizing the black man. The testosterone is a takeover. Testosterone don't bow, bro. It don't bow. But they're breaking us, not necessarily only through the information. They're breaking us by the choices that we're making in our food, bro.
I just wanted to kind of respond to something that you said about the lower self and the higher self. And the term that they use in Islam is nafs. The nafs, right? So, yes, it's real, and it's real for me because I've experienced that lower self. It's been my master for a long time. It's been a false god in my life for a very long time. Yeah, false god. Because I worshiped the flesh. I worshiped. It was nothing else but physical thing. Partying, having a good time, girls. That's it. That was the zone. So, and it's the flesh, and the flesh is weak. And even when I find myself migrating away from it, maturing away from it, aging out of it, all of that, and having the desire to stay and change the appetite, right? Because you're saying there's, we have to feed the mind, the spirit, and the body. They all have to eat, right? But there's also about appetites. I had to change a few appetites, and I'm still working on changing some of my fleshly appetites, because it's my appetite that draws me back to that fleshly desire, whatever it is, So I'm working on my appetites, some physical, I'm trying to reduce the taste of salt and sugar out of my palate, and I'm trying to reduce the love I have for some music out of my appetite, because I want to do something. Listen, I can go to jazz, get more jazz in my life so I can think and relax and not put my mind with that. Just start relaxing and getting rid of frustration. That's another thing. That to me, that was another deterrent. I had to work hard in the last, especially 6 months. I was getting it at work, relationships, found some peace. Alhamdulillah. Learned, spoke with people, did some soul searching, and found some peace. We've reduced 90% of the frustration that came from the relationships. I want to say that out loud. And I just changed jobs, so I just got rid of that frustration because you know, not only is it mental health, it affects you physically too, right? That's something to the heart, makes your heart. That's what make the blood pressure go up. And I went to see the doctor. My blood pressure is down. So I don't have to take the medication. I know I reduced the frustration. I did it myself. You know, with hard work and just being willing to not run from it. But yeah, the flesh, man. And that's well, like I would love that to be an ongoing conversation so we can examine just how the flesh impacts us negatively a lot, you know. What you think, Salon?
Because most of us are trying to appease the opposite sex.
Okay.
You know, for some reason we haven't learned yet that we are the kings. And a lot of us don't know how to live that out. Have the slightest clue on the potential that they have within themselves. I was one. I ain't gonna lie, I was one. It took me going to prison for it to come out. If I'd have never went to prison, only Allah knows what would have happened. But the path that I was on, being a king, that was the slightest thing on my mind. I was pure destruction. Lower self. I was pure destruction. Now, you know, it's like I'm a little older now, but it's not just that the age that did this to me. I started really wondering, what's my purpose? Who am I? Who am I? A lot of us don't know how to ask ourselves that question. We don't. We really don't. And I've learned that just since I've been home, you know, here and there speaking with a few of the young brothers. They have the slightest clue of anything about themselves. But they could tell you about any one of these so-called rappers and all that, Future, Drake and all. They could tell you their whole life story. But they don't know nothing about themselves. And I noticed that comes with a lot of the women also. And being that you're chasing a woman who has the slightest clue of who she is, and you have the slightest clue who you are, then y'all go ahead and there's a child involved. Now what happens? Look at the state we're in today. So how do we go about controlling the flesh? You gotta find out who you are. Find out who you are. So that's what we gotta start inspiring to the people, to the young men and the young women. Who you are. Show me who you are. Let's learn about you. So you can build off of that. Let them build. So because, you know, it's like we all know that when we do things, we look for gratitude, accomplishment, saying that was a job well done and all this here, the stroke of the ego and all this here. That's what a lot of these kids need today. They need the ego stroke. But are we stroking the ego for them to be beneficial to life, themselves, and the world? Or are we stroking the ego to continue being destructive? Right. And a lot of us are not really, a lot of us are not really being truthful in that when we do that. That's why, you know, it's like I commend them when I come around, you know, brothers, they're doing something crazy out of pocket. They'll straighten up and show me that respect and show themselves that respect. I said, don't do that now. I said, I want you to be like that when I'm not here. If you can be like that when I'm not around, and you only can do that in front of me, then you'll know that we're not getting anywhere. I'm not your Lord. I'm not your God. I'm not your Savior. I'm here to give you a message. I'm bringing a message to you. I'm not just going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it. This is.
I think, you know, the main thing, one thing I want to focus on us, because I know what it's like to be in a mental rut or feel like you're in a hole that you can never dig yourself out of, right? And this could possibly be some of the reasons why men don't get back into their children's life, because they don't have a job, they can't offer no money, so therefore they can't spend no time with them. And you know, the more time that goes by from being out of a child's life, the more we get a case of screw it, I can't go back now, it's too late. It's too late, right? It's too late for me to be my child's life. I've been gone too long. There's no such thing as that, really. we talk ourselves into reasons of why we stay out of our children. If you want to jump ahead.
No, that's mental instability. Mentally, you're not there. It's like, so you're at a loss. You're in the wilderness and you're truly at a loss. Because they can't, it's like, the reason why I can always, put it back to me, because I haven't had a job since November last year. Did I let that deter me or to stop me from being a part of my children's life because I'm not working? No. They come first. I have to, because they can't provide and protect themselves. So I have to be there to give them that, and and teach them how to be true little kings. And this is, the path that I'm on with my boys. But then there's 3 queens in there that are biologically not mine, but being that I've been there for the last almost 7 years, I'm a big part of their life. One of them, 18 on the 27th of this month. And she's getting ready to graduate. She got accepted to North Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. Because when I got in her life, I started showing her how to think differently, be differently, how to be and showing her that she is the true queen. You are a woman. You're a beautiful queen. You are. Huh? Say that again? What you said?
Come on, froze.
Yeah.
Well,
you froze, bro.
Yeah, that's been the hard thing that I've been dealing with right now. It's like raising my sons and raising 3 other children that biologically they're not mine, but physically they're mine because I've been there for them through thick and thin. I got them.
Yes, sir.
And they know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother, when I listen to you, and I'm clear on this, Brother Salam. Sometimes, and I gotta be careful. I think the brother, he's gone. But Salam, you back on, brother? Come on.
Yeah, I don't. I think my laptop, I think it started buffering. I switched to my phone. I believe that's the problem. Apologize, you guys. You can hear me and see me, right?
Yeah, you were saying something. Somehow the brother fell off. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know how he fell off. Yeah, but he was just speaking. That's one of the reasons why I wanted the brother on because I've seen his struggle over the years. Hey, Larry, I see you trying to get in, man. What's up?
Oh, I'm in. What's
Okay,
going on, brother?
good to see you, man. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
y'all too, bro.
So you could chime in whenever. I was just going to try to finish up what he was saying. Yeah, I watched his struggles with trying to get employment and still with these 4 children, in his life and still trying to be there, not trying, is there for them. I watched him, take him to the park, doing what you have to do on a daily basis. And that's why I wanted him to be, because he needs to talk about it. And he's a good example for those of us that's also struggling with, this daily activity of being responsible, as fathers or whatever. It's easier for some, but it's not as easy for many of us because we allow our thinking to kind of discourage us when we've been gone, for a minute. And that's the message that I'm trying to just talk about. You want to pick up on that, Courtney?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just being mindful that brother, Salam spoke about being a king and
Mm-hmm.
still that in his sons, and then recognizing the queens in his house, and then speaking to talking to the young brothers out here that are going in the same path that he's kind of overcome, and
Mm-hmm.
he was able to reach them. But the reality for me, and sometimes because we don't really understand what we've gone through in life to make us who we are, we don't know how much force and power we really have.
Mm.
I think about my brother, and I say this around you, my brother Patrick Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He was a brother that, spent a lot of years. He didn't do the incarceration thing, but
Mm-hmm.
that part said we're struggling in a world that he knows something wrong, but he can't quite put his finger on it. And then drugs and alcohol became, the place that comforted him. So
Right.
unproductive for many, many years. But then when he got a wake up call, something spiritually happened to him. He wasn't perfected in his in his growth and development, but he knew that he couldn't just sit around. You know what I mean? And all he needed was somebody to support him, somebody to kind of say, "Yeah, man, I see your vision, bro."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make any excuses after that, you know, and those that have known him, and have been around him and to see the things that happen in this city, it happened from an individual that was broken, no knowledge of self, and in real time didn't know what his purpose was in life. But then when he just had a thought about giving back to his community and trying to help others, he watched how some force basically moved with him to be able to do things against the odds. So I say to you, I say to Brother Salam, you've been uniquely fitted to take charge. You know what I mean? To change lives. And I see you doing it, Brother Kamal. I see Brother Salam in his way doing it. But you don't realize how much more power you have when you decide to start to activate and move unselfishly, and so into other people's lives, man. So I just wanted to say that I see greatness and I see a giant. So I don't see any coincidence that I'm on the line with Brother Salam and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, starting something
Right.
that, both of y'all have a story of being incarcerated and being forced to bow down, man. Being forced to make a decision and change your life. And then you making that decision and you coming out and being willing to help other people make that change, brother. I believe that the force of the Most High is with you. You know what I mean? I think we've reached that time in history that the good things and the productive things in life are going to start to outstrip the negative things, bro. And because you've gone through it already, you know what it's like back there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to make those mistakes anymore, bro. And
Right.
when we decide to sow into not just our family, but our broader family, humanity, Allah is going to raise us up, brother. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. Come on, don't stop, bro.
Thank you. So one of the things that did you want to say something, Larry? I'm sorry. You want to chime in? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Um,
just soaking it in.
just checking. So one of my goals that before I got released this time I started a book, or like a year and a half before my release, I started this book. So I produced a lot of thoughts in my mind. And one of them was a goal. One of the goals that I realized I need to do is I used to talk about Slick, this character Slick and me. And I wanted to get rid of him. I knew I had to get rid of him. I couldn't come up with that. I'm slicker than. Um, and so that therefore it also came under the umbrella of a 180-degree turnaround. So whatever my knee-jerk reactions were, I wanted to be 180 degrees different. So I'm saying that to say, just this, what we're doing right now is a 180-degree turnaround because we're collaborating, we're having the chat. It's virtual, but I appreciate it. You guys you're giving up time, and this is a precious thing. You know, there's some people that think they could be doing a lot better things with their time. And what that could be is, you know, checking on some female, you know, going with hanging out with them, you know, no time for this positiveness is corny to some people as a lack of better word, right?
Go ahead.
But for me, this is a whole different. We spend an hour with two other men, three other men, whoever's listening, and we're talking about some where I'm airing some of my shortcomings and what my struggles are, looking for help. It could be in a comment, it could be from you, it could be from Larry. It ain't just about me giving. I'm looking too, like, you know, I'm in search as well. I'm putting stuff out there, being in real time, what's happening with me in real time. I'm trying to focus, you know, I feel like Allah's calling me back with the spirituality. I worked on my frustration. This stuff is happening in real time, and I'm trying to do something financially for myself down the road, you know. And I like to, before I leave this planet, find out just how powerful I am. I may not, but I know I could be more powerful than I wanted to see how far I can go with where I'm at this stage in my life. I want to test the water. I want to remove some fear, make a couple investments, and see what happens on a small scale. But you know, one thing's for certain: if nothing changes, right?
Mhm.
So with me understanding that, it's my responsibility to bring about change within myself. And finally, I want to say, the brother's not here. I don't know what happened, but he had spawned a thought about that we need to also bridge some gaps with the females in our lives, and even in some cases family members. You know, we have strained relationships. What I've learned in real time is a lot of times it's not only, you know, sometimes we just gotta let go of the past. We keep reminding each other, you did this, yeah, that was 20 years ago, that's 30 years ago. God, when you gonna forgive me? Like, you wearing it around like it's a big ball and chain around your neck, and it's preventing us from moving forward. You know, in our relationships within ourselves, you know, we have to become a better person within in order to accomplish anything, whether it's trying to pull people together to listen, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's with our coworkers. You know, I found that I had to become a better person, work on my frustration, come up with a better delivery, a better way of presenting so it's more inviting, you know, with a drizzle of honey on it. So the people is more appetizing, you know, and also in just my daily relationships. And that's what we need to maybe enter our baby mothers' wives, our lives again, or our baby fathers' lives, if women are watching, whatever the case may be. You know, our parents, if we have strength, our siblings, maybe we just have to humble ourselves, move past the past and say, listen, life's too short. How can we move this past? Let's not remind each other what happened 10 years ago. I love you, give a hug, start chatting, start communication. That's where our power is at, when we start connecting again. We lose our power when we're divided.
Mm. Said a lot, brother.
I know I said,
No, no, no. Meaning that it's
you
full.
know, mm-hmm.
We need to hear, brother. Absolutely. Ab-
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that, brother. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in tune because I'm hearing people say about leaving things in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about people that lived a life with a silver spoon in their mouth. I'm talking about folks that have suffered and they've
Right.
come to the understanding of how important it is to live in the present time. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you forget about the past. Doesn't mean that you're not critically thinking about it. And I think just you saying it is inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing it. I believe you're a part of the healing. So just, just continue to let it flow, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, brother. And your greatness, there's a saying in Islam, they call it a hadith. They said, because God loved to be known, he created man.
Mm.
So each and every one of us, I mean, you might have a certain estimation of yourself, but he created us out of love.
Mm.
To be known. So that means that in our life right now, everything that you're saying, Brother Kamal, is bearing witness to the creator. So you're making the creator known. He says he takes an individual from darkness into light. And it's the shaitan or Satan, the devil, that takes you out of light into darkness. And everything that you're saying is from darkness to light. It might appear to be little drops of water, not that significant. But when you're talking about the power of the Most High, if we didn't have that sun right there, bruh, no one would have life.
That's right.
So you manifesting life, and it could be talk for many of us, but the idea that in the beginning was the word. So we have to talk the right talk, and then at a certain point, you'll start to and the word became flesh.
Right.
You know, and in many cases, you might not even know how you're walking in the path of God until somebody lets you know. You know, but it's always good, and I try to be like you. I'm always listening, bro. I'm always trying to learn and to grow. That's what keeps me humble, because I was taught from an early age, man, that don't look at the vessel in which truth comes in. You know what I mean? Because it can come in an old drunken bum, bro. You know what I mean? But he's lived something and learned something that he can teach you more than somebody that's got this crazy education from the Western civilization, bro, that we make a big deal out of. Your wisdom is light. Education is just this stuff that we get, and it's just knowledge, man, and it can be trick knowledge, bro. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother, for your.
You're welcome, man. Thank you too for saying what you said. I don't know if I said this live and online, but I need to say it now. First of all praises due to Allah, the creator and the Lord of all the worlds, right? Um, if I have not said this, I need to express that whatever good is coming from me is definitely from him. He's just definitely using me. I'm very conscious of that. You know, whatever good you see in me, whatever good you hear from me, I'm being used. Trust me. And this, I don't mean to sound like it's something spooky or beyond something supernatural, but it is what it is. This thing is bigger than me. You know, whatever gift you hear from my tongue, it's definitely a higher power, you know. So if I have not said that out loud, I've said it to some people personally, but I don't know if I've said it online. Yes, yes, that is that's the truth, and that's where my drive comes from. I know it ain't for me, you know. That's where my drive comes from. And finally, I just want to say, yeah, formerly incarcerated. I'm like Salam. He made me think that I think I developed some stuff inside that I may not have been able to develop. I found myself in situations where I was facilitating other men, right? And this is not a normal men group of crowd that you're used to. We're talking about some tough men, some gangsters, some wolves group. I'm gonna have 30 seated in front of me, 40 in Attica, some mediums, facilitating, having them listen to me. And that's when I realized I have been blessed with the power of the tongue and insight. Because I could command, I've had guys come to me after they heard me speak and whisper in my ear that I had them considering dropping their gang flags right in Attica. I had a man come up to me. People know him. He's right out here doing work. We was in Attica. I won't blow him up. He ran to me out here and said, I was the reason he stopped smoking because he heard me speak in Attica. I would have never known that if I didn't bump into him. That's all Allah. That's all the creator. You know, that he's using me because whatever little gifts I have, he's taken it and honed it and allowed me to use it, in a good way. Whatever little gift I have with that tongue. But, it's not me. It's definitely a higher power. But we don't want you to just be discouraged because good is good. We just need to do good. We need to show love. And beloved Courtney, you inspired me with the healing concept. I've never forgot when you said you wanted to start a healing movement. Well, guess what? You part of a healing movement. We could throw that up there in the banner too. We need healing. We ain't
Ab-
gonna forget that term, that concept. I want you to bring that.
Absolutely. Well, that's from
Mhm.
Allah. That's not
Mhm.
me.
Right.
I want to be a part of it, and I thank you for offering me and giving me the opportunity to be a part of it. It ain't my thing. I
Right.
recognize I ain't trying to let my ego go crazy. I
Right.
want to be a part of the healing, and I'm praying to Allah that whatever you have of wrong in my heart and my being, that He's a lot.
So what I'm gonna do, being that
And
it's 8 o'clock, you breaking up. I don't know, you was
yeah,
buffering a little bit.
all right. Can you hear me?
And I hear you now. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Hmm.
Yeah, nah, man. Just saying, I'm thankful, brother. I believe
Okay.
in time of healing, bro. Where the
Yeah.
God Himself, if you cry out and call on the God for healing to help you with your shortcomings, man, or the things that you're having a hard time overcoming. One of the concepts in Islam is the Mahdi, one who comes to
Right.
cross and to kill a swine. And it's talking about the cross that we are on between good and evil, that sometimes it stagnates us. Well, we
Mm.
want to break that cross so that we can just rise on the upright and not be part of the horizontal. And the
Mm.
kill the swine, it's not talking about the physical swine, even though we don't eat it, but it's talking about the swine appetites that we have.
Mm.
That now, the Most High, now it means more to pray now, I believe, than any other time, because God has made a decision on this world and He's bringing in another world. So when we pray to Him to help us to overcome, that's recognizing Him in His power. And now, during the right time of submission, you'll see the fruits of your prayer. He will take away from you the weaknesses that are in you. He'll just take it away from you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Where
Right.
you ain't got to fight anymore. That's healing in itself, when you just asking. So without question, brother, come on, man. Let's keep this thing moving, bro. Could you
Okay.
imagine, brother, come on, if we can get over whatever divides us
Mm-hmm.
and start to, the minister said this. He said that we are not a body with a little spirit. We're actually all spirit with a body.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were able to be disciplined in our
Mm.
spirit, then all of what we see in this particular creation is under our charge. So there's
Mm.
nothing that we have to beg or scrape or, go around with our head, trying to figure out how we can survive. Literally, when we get back to ourselves, everything is under our command.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are right now. But if we came together as brothers, man, ain't no way in the world we don't have no
It's
job. You know what
strength in numbers, strength in numbers.
I
We
mean?
want to get to that. And so, that's on the list to discuss, to paint some verbal pictures so people can see the importance of the strength in the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was going to keep it here. I don't know. You guys have to go. Wasn't that many people tonight, so we can end at an hour. Prayerfully in 2 weeks we'll be back. And maybe with a couple more people on the panel. I don't know what that date is. Today is what's the day? Today's the 21st, so it's the 28th. So we're going into May. Okay, it's 2 weeks from today, the first Sunday in May, whatever that is. I don't have a calendar. I mean, I don't have my partner with me right now, but so guys, unless you guys have any last minute thoughts, we'll just leave it at there and see what
And
happens. I'll put up a couple clips, try to push it a little bit, and
brother, come
I tell
on.
you to do yours. Mm-hmm.
I can't tell who's on besides when the folks that's on the panel. You
Right.
you can see who's on right now?
Yeah, I don't. So I don't look like that. We had any guests? Oh,
No.
you still there? What happened, bro? You was still there? I didn't even know it. Your name, the
Oh
brother.
wow. So he was there waiting all this
Yeah,
time.
but I didn't see. They didn't. So what they do is they usually show me one for the guest, like it's highlighted one, the number. and it didn't show me. But when I just went, how long was you there, beloved?
I've been here from beginning to end.
But your picture left. I wish you would have texted me. Oh my bad.
I didn't know my picture left. I could see y'all. I saw y'all the
Oh,
whole time. I heard everything.
Yeah, no, your
really? Oh,
picture's
wow.
gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Now,
Okay.
when you're off the screen, we can't tell. I can't tell that you on at all. But I know, brother Kamal, my wife was on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else.
Yeah, well, so this is, I'm gonna be honest, this is my first time I'm doing the StreamYard by myself. Sparkle's not here. And so usually, like I said, it has guests at the bottom, and when there's somebody waiting, there's a one. If there's two, and we hit it, then we add you to the stage. When you left, I didn't think to look at the guests to see what was going on. So please, if you want to finish up what you were saying, we can stay a little longer. My bad.
Yeah. Hey, man, just want to send, the brother ain't on the screen. We should make it,
No, he's there now. I'm
No,
saying you
no.
want to give.
I'm
Yeah.
saying if you get on, you got to show your face on the screen. I'm talking about my brother Larry, man.
Oh, well, listen, I'm
Yeah,
meeting
yeah.
him where he's at, brother Courtney. Next
Yeah,
time he may show his face. I'm meeting him
yeah,
where
I'm
he at.
here. I'm
brother
here. I
Kamal.
was just in the middle of something. That's the reason why.
Your brother
Okay.
Kamal.
Yes.
So I
So I
train
see
it.
y'all.
Yo, Kamal. I train. You know what I'm talking about. I train
Right.
it is. It might be an agent on the line, bro. We tell you gotta put your face on the screen, brother, because you don't know who's on the other
That's a
side,
fact.
And I
Yeah,
go around, hey, brother, I seen you on, but that wasn't me, brother. I'm like,
yeah.
oh wow, man.
But
It's
I
me. It's
identify the
definitely me,
voice,
bro.
though.
Yeah, that just
Even though AI can mimic voices today, right? But
yo,
we in a hell of
not
a
just your
world, man.
voice, man. He can mimic your face and everything,
I'm
man.
telling you. We live in a hell of a world today.
But no, I want to give a shout out to my brother Larry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, bro.
The brother's on fire lately, so I'm all, I'm feeling it.
Right,
Yeah.
Anytime I
right.
see the black man on fire and
Yeah.
disappointed with this world, I know a change is coming.
Right.
That's
And
a
he's
fact.
used to working with the youth, and that's where we
Yes.
want to go. But
Yeah.
Salam, did you want to finish your thought? Because you was kind of interrupted. I think you buffered.
No. When I was going to speak on Courtney, he kind of broke it down.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
He broke it down.
Call
Just
that
wanted to
A
make
light.
sure.
A light.
That's
Yeah.
right. Surely a lot knows best.
Absolutely, man. No, he's in control. Ain't no question. So yeah, but come on. Sometimes, man, when we get going, man, we don't want to hang up, bro. You know how it is.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm trying to just be conscious as a so-called facilitator and make sure that if I ask you to come for an hour, that I try to stay within that time range so you come back. I don't want you to say, man, this guy kept me for 2 hours. I ain't gonna no, I'm only but no, still it's just you guys are sacrificing time and you may have other things to do. A couple people got wives and children. So I try to just be mindful of time. But, that's a good, if you're comfortable hanging out, that's cool too. That's a very great sign, so just trying to find balance.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hold anyone. I'm always encouraged when we can connect.
Yeah.
Me and the Salam, we like ships that pass in the night. It's like love, none but respect, man. And we in our corners doing what we do, but we know that the power is when we can figure it out. We moving out on something, and just to say to you, brother Kamal, there was a time that we did have a crew of brothers, and I kind of like said this to you back when you were in a sense trying to promote me in a sense of stepping up and everything. But I always tried to build a team, and sometimes to your point, sometimes some of our weaknesses, there's another brother on the team that got a strength, and that's what allowed us to penetrate
the power in this area. You know what I mean? That allowed us, just off the rip, coming together and then being willing to stand together was a threat to these individuals. I can give you stories from behind the scenes how we moved. And it's nothing to brag about because we got a lot of work to do. But the reality is when we do stand together as a solid wall, we might have differences, but we don't show that to the public, meaning that in every organization there's going to be differences. But if we can have a singular mind on what we're trying to accomplish for the good and the betterment of the whole, you'll see that you can, as you were saying, man, you were impressed to see where Patrick went from to where he ended, right? And he still had a lot of life still, but that didn't happen in a vacuum. There was other black men that were there with that brother. He just happened to be the one that we pushed up. See what I'm saying? So
yes, I do. Yes,
we have the power. And don't get me wrong, many others got inspired by seeing people move in arenas that we normally don't move in. I believe, brother, that we have what we need. I was just, brother just came by to pick up a carrot cake and a jar juice, plug, right? Brother D King, Danilius.
Right.
And we had a nice little talk, and it was all about, man, we got to find a way that I see what you're doing, brother, and we got to find a way to connect. And he ain't against it. We just got to find a way.
Right.
And that's across the board. That's across.
We start small, and hopefully as it moves, it'll pick up like a snowball. Just start growing, picking up more snow. Just as a, for example, because one thing's for sure, if it's bigger than us, then Allah's gonna do his part and make sure the people that need to hear this is gonna hear it, right? It may not be it may not be 1 million people. It may not be 10,000. It may be 100 that need to hear it, and that's all we need to be concerned about. That it's going to reach the right ears, and that I'm confident in. There's no doubt about that for me. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I got 2 things to do as well. Thank you for showing up.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep you in the loop about the next date and everything. Maybe we can get to chat individually, between them. We got 2 weeks, All right.
Yes.
All right.
All right,
Till the next
appreciate
time. This is real people with real talk in real time. Peace. Y'all be
Peace,
safe, man.
Peace, guys.
All right.
Very brother.
All right.
Brothers, always brother Courtney Salam.
One love, one love.